So without further ado, let's get into how I made my own Danny Phantom Imaginext figure. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Deep CP, and I am back with another video. It has been a while, but I've had a lot going on, and I'm very excited to tell you I have a video coming out just about that. All the cool life events that's been going on here recently for me. I'm getting married. I'm very, very excited for where my life is heading, and I'm excited I get to spend that with her and you guys. But today, enough about me and my personal life. Let's get into why you're really here. You're probably asking, Deep C, why did you make a Danny Phantom action figure? Well, I'll give you a reason why. Number one, I'm a huge fan of that property. I've always loved Danny Phantom. Two of these figures here on the table is actually mine from when I was a child. Particularly when I was a kid, I always loved figures that had a play gimmick or was able to pose. And I didn't have that with Danny Phantom. As I got older, I found out that there was a toy line that Jazzwares did for Nicktoons, and they had a Danny Phantom figure. Unfortunately, Toys R Us wasn't close by to me, and I missed out on my opportunity to get one. Well, I have searched eBay and scrounged, and I can't find one. So I had the predicament of either settling for what I have, or take it upon myself to make my own. And that's exactly what I decided to do. Make my very own posable Danny Phantom action figure. And you're probably asking why I chose Imaginext as a baseline. I chose Imaginext because typically the average Joe can find one of these old school figures for dirt cheap at thrift stores and Goodwill. They're the easiest to get access to. And usually 3-inch figures are easy scaled. So if you've got like a Spider-Man, put him with the Ninja Turtles if you want. It's all Nickelodeon property now. So without further ado, let's get into how I made my own Danny Phantom Imaginext figure. So I'm going to give you a heads up on where I screwed up before I even started this project. I should have took it apart before I sculpted. I went in later to take the figure apart. I kind of cracked the head. So what you have to do is take an X-Acto knife and boiling hot water to open these. So all you're going to do is take a boiling pot of water, and for the love of Pete, if you are not an adult, don't do this on your own. Get a parent! Anyway, you're going to take the figure and stick it to the boiling pot of water. Leave it there for 45 seconds. And you're going to take a pair of pliers, grab the head, and pop it off. Then you're going to put that back in there, take it out, and you're going to take your X-Acto knife along the side of the body. You can see there is a plastic seam here. It goes all the way along the figure and crack open all the way along that glued portion of the body. And once you've done that, you've completely disassembled your figure, and then you can start your project. Do not do like me and find out the hard way. I had to sculpt the head from scratch, and how I did that, I used air dry clay. Took the head itself, rounded it out, put the hair on it, and then I started smoothing it out with a little bit of water on my finger, get it to that nice round shape. And I used this as my 3D model and even added the ears and the nose and the eyebrows. All of that was done. I sanded it smooth with fine grit sandpaper, or in my case, it was a sanding block. And then after I sanded all of that smooth, I moved on to the torso. So you're going to sculpt on the logo itself, sand the logo down smooth, sand the face down smooth, the hair, the head, the ears, and smooth out every joint that you've taken off. The reason being, if you want it to be posable, you're going to want to make sure the paint doesn't chip or it moves. That is because you have sanded it very smoothly. So now when you have your Danny in poses, you don't have to worry about the paint being chipped off. Got everything smoothed out with your fine grit sandpaper. Go ahead and before you mask everything out. After you've sanded stuff, take your flat white paint and apply it to everything. It's your base paint coat. Go ahead, paint the whole thing white, and after you got it painted white, you're going to go back over it with a pencil and draw out a place where the gloves are going to go, the collar's going to go, all that stuff. This is frame of reference for yourself for when you go to mask it. You're going to mask off the portions that are going to be white. Means the gloves, the boots, the belt. Don't worry about the collar, and don't worry about the logo. You're going to have to go over it by hand anyway. After you have painted, while the black pieces are drying, move your way on towards the head portion of the project. Painting the skin tone. So to get the skin tone, because Danny's kind of pale, I used a creamy beige color and mixed a little bit of white to make him a little bit more pale. He is a ghost. I started painting the mouth, and I started painting the eyes and the eyebrows. You already have a white piece for the hair because you did a base paint of white, but I wanted everything to be even, so I took my white paint here and went over the hair anyway. You're going to finish off the eyes with your dark green color, and you're going to do a lighter green in the center of that is to outline and make the eye pop. Take your black paint and make the very, very center of the eye like every cartoon character. And I put a little white dot in the corner of the eye to make it look like light was reflecting out of it. Did a layer of Mod Podge over that. While that's drying, move your way over to the body and go ahead and start working on it. Take your masking tape off and all that stuff. And now that your black and your white and all that stuff is ready to go, you can go over it. To take your white paint and you're going to go over the logo and the collar. After those two are done, go over the gloves, go over the boots, go over the belt with the white. You're going to thank yourself because the whole thing is going to be evenly coated and the colors are going to match. After you've painted on the logo, the collar, and the belt, as well as the rest of it, and finished out the white, let it dry. And after everything's completely dry, you're going to take your Mod Podge and go over all of that. It's done. You're on to the last step. You're going to put the joints, the head, the legs, and all of that back in place. You can put some glue along the sides. You're going to take your torso and the back piece and clip it back in almost like a shell to make sure it dries. Clip it and hold it together for 30 seconds. That way you make sure it doesn't fall apart. Move your joints around. That way the super glue does not mistake the joints for what you're wanting to hold together. Glue is dried. Ladies and gentlemen, you have your very own custom Danny Phantom action figure. Probably could have done it a lot easier, and this was a learning process for me. I've never done anything like this before. I'm very proud of myself. I think that by doing this, I've not only made a childhood dream of mine come true, but I've taught myself a new skill. And I'm very glad I took this project on, and I'm glad I was able to share it with you guys. And if you enjoy stuff like this, let me know. And maybe next time I do a video like this, I'll actually film it. The reason I didn't film it this time, I was just kind of learning it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, and you decide to make your own, curious what you guys come up with if you decide to make your own Danny Phantom. I really want to see what they look like. In the meantime, that's basically all I have for today's video. Stay tuned for the life update video I'm going to be posting very soon. And that's it for today. Be sure to wave into that subscribe button, surf in for notifications. Stay tuned for more buried treasure. Deep CP out. Catch you on the coast side. Woo!